Okay, we're speaking with Dave Luepke. He's the organizer of the Wisconsin Health Freedom Coalition Health Freedom Expo here at Cedar Creek Mall. And maybe Dave, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about what's going on today.
Well, this is the Health Freedoms Coalition's first effort at this sort of thing, and we've got a real interesting variety of people involved here, including our friends from Rekindle the Flame who are doing the free health screenings. And then you can see the lineup of good folks here, everything from farmer selling his grass-fed beef to an insurance man to me with the exercise equipment. So, and we just came from a very nice seminar lecture from Katie Wallace, the former director of the coalition. She was the director until she took time out to have a little baby girl who's here today too. And Katie is very sharp on all of these issues. And you can learn a lot about all of that from our website, wihfc.com.
So tell us what the importance is of the what is the Health Freedom Coalition? Why do we need health freedom?
Okay, our coalition, what we do is we advocate for innovation and free and open discussion of anything having to do with health. And we vigorously oppose those who would stifle it. Now, unfortunately, that's our main job lately. We're busy opposing people because there are special interest groups who want a monopoly on all things having to do with health and nutrition, and we're right in there opposing that sort of thing. And I'm really proud of our group. We've actually drafted a health freedom bill for Wisconsin now, and that's part of the reason for this expo is to draw attention to that and try and gain support for it.
And there's actually legislation pending that would limit the abilities for natural and alternative.
Look right down the line here, almost all of these folks would be put right out of business with that bill. It's called a licensure bill for the dietitians. We have no objections to them if they want to license themselves. Unfortunately, they're not telling the whole story. When you read the actual bill, it freezes out a whole lot of people. And they even designate in the bill which nutritional schools they would allow you to go to in order to become licensed. And we have some wonderfully successful nutritionists who've gone to these very good schools. A couple of them are here today. But this bill that we're fighting would not recognize those schools. So that's ridiculous, and we're fighting it.
So what's the update there? When is that going to be going to? Are they going to have a vote on this?
They had the hearing on the Senate version, and we were there in force. I mean, I was so proud of our people. Came by the busload and did a wonderful job of pointing out the problems with the bill. And, I mean, they weren't just there to protest. These people had their act together. They had done their homework. So it's stuck in that committee right now, the Senate Health Committee. If they voted out of committee, then it would go to the floor. Unfortunately, that very same day of that hearing where we were all opposing that, the Assembly, someone in the Assembly went ahead and introduced it there. And right now it's all in limbo. The two things that could happen now is the Senate committee could vote it out of committee, then it would go to the Senate floor for a vote, or could go. The other thing that is more than likely to happen is a hearing on the Assembly version, so we'd have to go down there and do it all over again. But we're ready. We'll be there.
And have any other states passed legislation similar to this?
Yes, a lot of them, and that's why we're fighting it. Ohio was one of the first, and it's been a nightmare. They've actually jailed people for doing, Pam Popper wrote a book about it. She was one who stood up to it, spent an enormous amount of money, just barely stayed out of jail, and all she was doing was holding wellness forums to discuss nutritional protocols. She wasn't even selling anything, just a discussion group. And they came and threatened her and arrested her. And, and what happens when they do that sort of thing is they intimidate a whole bunch of other people. So when we go to our legislators and bring this up, what happened in other states, they always come back at us, well, that's an isolated incident. Well, yes and no. they pick on a few people and make an example of them, and the rest of the folks either quit or leave the state. And they estimate over 800, at least 800 various nutritional practitioners have left or quit in Ohio. And we don't need that at this time with all the people out of work already. And
yeah. Do we have any Wisconsin legislators on our side on this? Or?
we haven't found a sponsor for the bill yet. We were talking to a whole lot of them, and we haven't found one yet. Well, we found a couple who would sponsor, but they said we need someone in the majority party, because if they're not, the sponsor's not in the majority party, it's not going to go anywhere. So we'll see, and if we can't get anyone in the majority party to sponsor, maybe after next year's election the majority could change. So we'll be there. We'll be there.
So how come we're hearing all this about national health care, and we're hearing so much about the Obama health care plan, but this seems to be under the radar, nobody knows about it?
You mean what we're doing?
Yeah.
It has been up until now.
Yeah.
The people who tried for monopoly with that Senate bill did it very quietly, but they have 3 lobbyists down there. And they're supported by huge money people, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Monsanto, and Mars Candy. All the junk food people are supporting the dietitians. Something don't add up here. And if you go to their website and see the protocols that they recommend, you'll understand. And if you've ever been in a hospital, you'll understand too, because they're in charge of the hospital food. I was in cardiac intensive care where they tried to feed me sugar and hydrogenated oil and aspartame and all that. And no way, I'm not eating it.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to take a little walk here. Maybe you can introduce me to some of your friends that you have in the coalition, but for now, give us your website one more time.
WIHFC.com, Wisconsin Health Freedom Coalition.com.
Alrighty, thanks. It's Dave Luepke, and we'll talk to you again in a minute.